What's up, Aries? So I didn't think I was gonna do a song for you guys. I had a song for everyone else, but there wasn't anything that came to me. Then I just had a conversation the other day with an Aries, and we're talking about BB Rexa. And he called me because I'm a big fan of hers, and he came on and he reminded him of me. So I just want to play the song for you guys real quick for a first minute. Well, we'll get right into your reading, but this is Aries energy this month. Say you want a bad bitch, baby, now you have it. Now you are the baddest. Show me you can handle this. Bad bitch, bad bitch. Show me you can handle this. Bad bitch, bad bitch. Bad bitch, bad bitch. Show me you can handle this. Alright, Aries, let's do this. Okay, Aries, so that was Bad Bitch by BB Rexa. And you know, the reason I want to play this song because I already told you guys, like, an Aries thought of me when it came on. Let's say Aries X and hit me up and we talked and it was nice. But you know, to me that song, it's like you say you want a bad bitch, baby, now you have it. Show me you can handle this. I really think that there's something about Aries energy this month that really wants to be supported. That really wants to kind of, you know, you guys are all about independence. You're all about doing your own thing and being in charge and being the boss. But the thing about the Emperor card is that being the Emperor can get very lonely, right? And while I was pre-shuffling, the Devil popped out. And I wanted to keep it because I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, who's an Aries, and I was talking to her about Mars going direct and how it's in Capricorn. Capricorn, right? We have Mars in Capricorn energy. And I told her, like, I think for most people, most signs, this is a really, like, empowering time. Mars in Capricorn gets shit done. It invigorates things. It's passionate. It's forward thinking. It's moving, right? But I said, except I think maybe for Aries. And I think because Aries, I think, wants to be careful about this supercharged Mars energy in a sign like Capricorn. I mean, look right in the image, right? You have two signs that have horns. What are horns for? They're for defense. They're for attacking, right? And I almost want to worry Aries about getting too excited, right? I think that the danger of Mars in Capricorn possibly for Aries is getting fire burning so bright that you burn yourself out, right? That you become caught up in toxic stuff. That and this is why I also feel like a need for support for Aries, because you know, as strong and powerful as your energy is, I've said this to you guys before, I think it kind of needs to be guided sometimes. Aries likes to be independent, yes, but Aries also likes to have people in their life that they respect and look up to. I think Aries sometimes really likes, you know, role models, people to you know, inspire them, right? Sometimes you want to admit it, but and I think right now you guys might have been dealing with a lot of things that have been weighing you down, right? Difficult situations, and it's not like you can't handle it. You're perfectly capable of handling it. You've taken the L's in stride, you know. You've dealt with it. But I think that there's almost this exhaustion of having to deal with it. Like, you don't want to just deal with stuff anymore. You don't want to be on this, like, rigid landscape, right? Think about the counterpart to the Emperor. It's the Empress. So as much as you have this rigidness, this vast landscape that's kind of like dry and barren, with the Empress you have the opposite. You have lushness, you have life, you have support, you have nurturing, you have someone who's your equal but who you can also look up to, someone who you respect as like your counterpart in life. And I didn't know this was going to be the topic of conversation for this reading. A lot of the other signs I've been like picking up on what they need, and this just came to me like as I was about to start your reading. Like I just did Aquarius and I thought I was going to do Capricorn, and I was like, no, I want to do Aries. I'm being pulled towards Aries, and that song just came to me and everything just came together, right? So Aries, here's what we're going to do. I haven't talked to you guys in a couple months, so what we're going to do first is take a look at where you've been over the past few months, right? I just noticed this in this card. Do you see how in the distance there's something like set on flame? I think that's important for Aries. I think that I think that something about the life you've been creating for yourself is not working. And I think that there's been energy in the universe that has been showing you that. Like, we've all been through this eclipse season that's kind of shaken us loose. It's kind of torn away false things and built us up in a new way. And I think right now Aries has to kind of build itself up in a real sustainable way. So let's look at what's happened for Aries over the past few months. Hermit, like feeling really alone. You know, for a lot of the other signs that I've been getting the Hermit card, I've been looking at positive. It's about like pulling back and connecting with your highest self, right? And it's just like Aries is just screaming to me of loneliness. And Aries has a quality that's usually attributed to like Scorpio or the other, Pisces or the other water signs. Scorpio too, right? Of like escapism, right? And I think what's been happening is that Aries might have been filling this pain, this loneliness with escapism, with fantasies of stuff that aren't really gonna happen, with addictions, partying, drinking, alcohol, drugs, whatever it might be, right? Sex, right? So I want to address this loneliness. What has been making Aries feel so lonely? I really feel like it's just a lack of a counterpart. Especially if that counterpart is an earth sign. Right? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But if you're not dealing specifically with an earth sign, this is just energy that, at its best, the Knight of Pentacles is about forward progress and movement and slow but steady work. But sometimes at its worst, especially coming up like negatively and especially with relationships, the Knight of Pentacles like kind of jerks people around. The Knight of Pentacles is not forthright about what they're feeling or what they're thinking or what they want. The Knight of Pentacles kind of, at its worst, can be a little manipulative, a little scheming even. When it's not that bad, it's at least like the energy to me of someone who dangles a carrot and just wants to like lead you on and almost makes these false promises, right? And says they're just like taking their time and moving slow, but maybe doesn't even have any intention of moving anywhere or actually fulfilling any of the promises that they're making. No wonder you would feel lonely dealing with a person like this. A person who's just so self-absorbed. A person who maybe has trouble being sensitive towards the needs of other people. You know, Aries is a very heartfelt sign. You're the babies of the zodiac. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean, you're the first sign of the zodiac. And that energy can be almost childlike, where it's, needing support. Of not really sometimes being as tough as you look. Or as you want to look, right? And you need somebody who knows that about you. You need people in your life who don't project their idea of sensitivity onto you. Right? I had this talk with the Sagittarius where I was frustrated because some of my Pisces friends would say things to me that were hurtful, but like we're friends, so it's like, you know, I taking it as just like, you know, friendly banter between friends. I throw a shade, you throw a shade, right? But then I would throw shade and they're like, yeah, why are you being so tough on me? Why are you being so hitting me so beneath the belt? Like, you should know that the things I said to you, like, if I called you fat, it's like, you should know that I don't actually think that. But then you said this about me and like that hurts so much and you should know better. I'm like, excuse me, like, just because you put on a brave face, just because you laugh things off even when they sting, doesn't mean that they don't sting. Right? Aries is a complicated when it comes to love with other people. Let's pull another thing for the summertime, right? I think sometimes when it comes to love, Aries needs this like very fine balance that actually is sometimes hard to figure out between getting to be the tough one in charge and getting to be like the one who's nurtured and cared for. And what has this done? I just did Aquarius and these cards came up together too. So first of all, Aries, we have a lot of major cards here, right? So far, and I know I picked this one out of the deck, but right now we have 4 majors. We're starting off the reading with transformational energy, right? I think that what I'm getting here is Aries feels like stuck, right? These are steps along a journey. And with so many coming up, it's like there's not even like forward progress happening. There's just this like sense of being maybe a little confused, a little unsure. The High Priestess typically represents understanding, wisdom, subconscious like belief and guidance and being led by your intuition. And I feel like right now Aries is not really, I don't know why I'm getting this, but because it's not really, I don't know, I feel like Aries is not in touch with their intuition. Aries is going through the motions, but really not like totally clear on what you want and what you're about, who you want to be, what you want your life to look like. Like, I feel like there's ideas, but to me this is like the very wateriness of the High Priestess, where it's just ideas that are floating around in this abyss and are so ungrounded and so like even in a way out of touch with reality, maybe. You know, like there's heavy energy here of otherworldliness, of not being connected to the material mundane world. Maybe because you don't want to be, right? Maybe because, like, remember how I started off talking about escapism? What happens when you're up in the ivory tower by yourself for too long? You have no one to talk to or no one to connect to but yourself. What happens to anyone in that situation, right? Your thoughts get a little wild, ungrounded. You have no one to check you. No one to pull you out of like the place that you're in. That's another thing Aries needs. I think you guys sometimes need people who will check you once in a while. You know, who will tell you the harsh truth. And for some reason, I feel like Aries has been living in a la la land a little bit. A little left to your own devices in a way that is difficult, right? So Aries, let's hopefully pick up this energy, right? And let's see what we've got in store for September here. Because I do feel movement, right? Even though I said that Mars and Capricorn energy is like kind of overwhelming, I think it's once it moves into Aquarius, it's going to feel a little lighter for you guys. You guys do well with air energy, right? So September, what did I say about being stuck? Where did I get that from? Just look, do any of these cards really indicate being stuck? No, not really. And then what do we get as the first card for September? The Hangman. You know, sometimes I kind of know what I'm talking about. Once in a while, every once in a while, right? Stuck much, Aries? Feeling on the outskirts of like your own life. Feeling a little misunderstood. You know, I was reading about the Hangman. I never heard this perspective before about it, but the Hangman is kind of the outsider. The person who doesn't fit in, the person who is kind of maybe even crucified for being different. Or at least like that feeling of people just not understanding you. Having a different perspective on life that other people aren't relating to. That makes you maybe feel a little alone. Right? But here's the good thing. Again, another card here of contemplation, another card of inwardness, of thinking, right? Of getting in touch with what's real. On the inside, internally real. Again, another major. Like, Aries, I think, is just going through it. I think you're a little all over the place, to be honest. Pulled in a lot of different directions. No wonder you feel like this. This is like when I was looking at all the majors and saying you guys are just like all over the place and not overwhelmed. And then what happens when you get overwhelmed? Nothing happens. A little stuck, right? Now, that doesn't mean you're stuck in all areas, right? The Aries I was talking to the other day, he was having money problems, but now he's like interviewing, getting new jobs, and it's really great, right? So even if there's movement in that sense, when we're having all these majors here, and especially majors of connecting with your inner self, the stuckness is almost more like about you, right? This is why I'm happy to use these significators, because I love coming back to this representing you and your energy. Independence, right? Who you are. Aries is the sign of the personality, the ego. So why is Aries, what is making Aries so stuck here? Like, it doesn't stop with these majors, right? 7 cards now so far. 6 of them are major arcana, 1 is a court card. So especially if you've been dealing with an earth sign, like that person is a big player, I think, here, right? And just maybe not giving you what you want. Could be a lover, could be friends, family, people, right? Whoever it is, that like that slow moving heavy energy is weighing on you, right? Oh, there's just this frustration. Do you see like the frustration here of simultaneously being stuck in this place and then also being ready to like answer the call to something greater? Feels frustrating to me. It's almost like this vague sense of, you know, there being something better and greater, you just don't know where to go. You like feel like you can have better relationships, but you're not able to make those moves towards them for one reason or another. You feel like you can do more with like your career, but there's no moves you can make. You feel like this spiritual calling, but it's also like the same time this disconnect. Doubts, worries, fears, consuming fears, consuming like pain. Sheesh, Aries, I didn't know that this was going to be heavy. That song, Bad Bitch Now, it's almost like a cry for help. It's a very Aries cry for help, right? it's like, show me what you got, but at the same time, it's like, please, somebody, like, be the person who can handle me. Be the person who can, like, support me in the ways I need to be supported. More major arcana, guys. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, though. We're moving out, right? We're moving from this place in the beginning where we had this, like, major arcana energy that was heavy and introspective and kind of feeling stuck, right? Every single card here is a major arcana. But now what are we doing? We're moving out of it. Strength, right? Having the discipline, having the feelings of self-worth and self-care. This is what I feel like is self-care. If other people have been disappointing, it's about taking care of yourself, about setting yourself up for success, about, you know, putting yourself in a position where you're not that dependent on other people emotionally, financially, whatever. September, guys, is the time to kind of fill your pot with the things that you need to be okay. I'm thinking about, like, as a bear, it's like a honey pot, right? Like, the stuff that's gonna fulfill you and nurture you and make you feel like safe, like you've got your own back, right? This is where I stop feeling bad for Aries. I don't feel bad for you guys ever, but this is the point where it's like, as much as I'm sympathizing for the struggle, like, at the end of the day, like, I know you guys can handle yourselves. But I think also, like, with this card, do you see the way she's almost, like, leaning on the bear? Support. Right? Love, compassion. A mutual giving and taking of energy, right? What else do we have for September? Let's look specifically at your love life. Fuck. The dark moon, yeah. So, I mean, I think for a lot of you guys, the loneliness that you're feeling, whether you're in a relationship or not, is probably directly related to your spouse or partner, right? Or the lack thereof. And there's something about, in a weird way, like, needing validation. And in a way, not getting that, right? Like, if you're a cross watcher and you're watching because you're loving Aries or something, Aries need to be, like, propped up. Aries need to be reminded of how great they are. And if you can't handle, if you're a person who can't, like, handle, like, an occasional feeding of an ego, like, don't fuck with an Aries. I'm seeing Taurus on my shirt here. Like, that's absolutely, like, Taurus and Aries, like. I just realized what I know, an Aries with a Taurus. I wasn't even thinking about what I was saying when I said that, but I just saw Taurus, and it's like, oh, Taurus is never going to be the person that supports an Aries or gives them that. Right? Knight of Pentacles, to me, all of the court cards can represent all of the signs, but to me specifically, there's some cards that represent specific signs if we're going to go there. And to me, the Knight of Pentacles is Taurus. Queen of Pentacles is Virgo, and the King of Pentacles is Capricorn, in my mind, right? Or at least that energy. Let's see what else with the love life. Aries. Are you going through it? If you're in a relationship, it just feels like a burden. It just feels like you're trying to do it all and you can't. The Ten of Wands is someone who's been collecting wands and gathering and gathering and gathering. And then before you know it, you have this big bushel of wands that is so burdensome to carry. And the interesting thing, when I was reading about this card, because I've been putting a lot more research and energy into like getting better with cards. I've been doing this for a long time, but like I feel like the more perspectives you hear, exactly for this reason, right? The more perspectives you hear, it's like if you're interested in reading tarot, I just recommend like getting every single perspective on every meaning of a card ever that you can, right? From the artist who designed your deck, to any book you can get your hands on, to YouTube tarot readers, to your own intuition and your own meditation work with the cards, right? All of those things to me are like tools in a grab bag that in any given moment in any reading you have 5 or 6 different resources to pull information from, to get meaning from the card, right? Get a perspective. And the perspective I heard recently about the Ten of Wands is that this, how much to handle this, you need to either A, divide up the load, or B, share it. And that's why, this is why I'm encouraging guys to, I never thought of the Ten of Wands as a card that represents, and now how perfect it is it when we're talking about relationships, a card of sharing the load. You can't, how many times does this need to come up? You can't do it by yourself. You can, but you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna break your back. You're gonna drain yourself. You're gonna struggle for no reason. Struggle is not a virtue. Many hands make light work, right? Struggling feels good because like you feel tough and you can overcome things, right? Like this guy's a tough dude, right? He's gone through a lot and he's overcome and he's at the top of his game. But then like kind of look at his face. Like there's a heaviness, there's a darkness almost, right? Which makes sense then why the Empress is Libra, Virgo, Venus, love, right? You need those fields watered. Let's take a quick look at your career because we're getting long here. Hey, finally, like some good fucking news, huh? Wheel of Fortune. So again, if you guys have been struggling financially, I think there's going to be some gains. I think that it might have been feeling like situations out of your control have been weighing on you and like taking from your prosperity and abundance. And now it's like, it's still out of your control, right? With the Wheel of Fortune, it's about the randomness of life and the cycles of life outside of your control, right? But right now I just feel like it's turning in your favor, where good things are going to start coming your way financially, career-wise, right? Hardships that were just kind of dropped on you now, like, get lighter. And this is a good way to focus your energy, Aries, this month, right? Because you've been feeling a little off. You've been not really knowing. You know, the Four of Cups is a card of, yes, not seeing opportunities, but it's also a card of contemplation. It's a card of stepping back and having this safe space, stepping out of the humdrum of day-to-day life, the mundane world, to really get clear on it, what it is that you want. And I think in September, when it comes to your finances and your career, there's going to be movement forward, because I think there's going to be a grounding in what you want, a sense of like understanding of creating a safe space for yourself to reflect and meditate and all that stuff that makes you feel secure, that makes you aware of the opportunities you have around you for abundance, and not oblivious to them, right? On that note, I'm going to be starting weekly meditations here on YouTube. I've been meditating every day, and I wanted to kind of share that practice with everybody. So in a few weeks, look out for that. I'll be putting that out. It's just going to be free. We're going to do live streaming. You guys can join me on Monday nights for meditation. If you've ever wanted to get into a meditation practice, this is a great way to do that, right? But I'll let you know more about that. But anyway, the point is that this just made me think of that, because we're going to want to be thinking about what it is that brings us abundance and happiness, right? All right, so let's do a couple of outcome cards, and then we'll jump into the oracle real quick. All right, so outcome, Page of Wands. Opportunity is coming your way, right? This is exactly the card that makes me think about Aries needing to be guided. This person is ambitious, but sometimes almost to a fault, where they kind of need somebody to look after them, to guide their movements, right? To ground them and keep them safe. So Aries, I also take this as like a real sign of being ready to just move forward, and maybe even having to be a little reckless, having to do things that maybe aren't like super wise but are super empowering. Now that doesn't mean like go quit jobs or like get back with somebody that you were with before, because like it's not to be stupid and unconscious. But I do think that like the antidote almost to this heaviness is to get back in touch with like this childish sense of, you know, no limitations, of like, you got this, right? You can handle whatever comes your way. And I think Aries this month is going to start to feel invigorated and see opportunities and create opportunities for success. That's what I really want to say. Like, you're creating opportunities for your success in love and money, right? And your health, right? All of these things. Virgo season is perfect time to get that shit together. All right, let's pull another outcome card. There we go. Nine of Wands. So we're going from the 10 of Wands, that's super heavy, and we're like letting go of one of those wands, and what we're doing in the process is defending ourselves and protecting the things that we find nurturing to our being, right? The warning of the 9 of Wands, though, is to not become too guarded and disconnected, right? To make sure you're protected. This is the second card. I remember which one came up earlier, where I said to make sure you protect yourself and to feel like, make sure like you have what you need to be safe and secure in the world, right? So make sure you're like putting money away. Make sure that you are, having safe sex, anything like that. Like you just need to make sure that you are putting your health and your well-being first and foremost. I don't think I need to say any more about that card. I think that's the message there, right? Bottom of the deck, we have another 9 here, the 9 of Pentacles. Now this is independence, but with meaning and heart. This is independence with like the fruit of your labors being obvious, being seen, being tangible. So underneath it all, this is what you're looking for, right? You're looking for this sense of success, of wealth and prosperity, like that you have manifested for yourself, right? Last note I'll say is like, be just conscious of like Ace of Pentacles. Be conscious of supportive companionship, right? All right, guys, so let's jump into the oracle real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Just a little note on private readings. I'm going to be closing down my Etsy shop at the end of the month and launching a website where you can actually book readings. The Etsy way was just too complicated. You can get like 20 orders in 2 days and have to fulfill them all at the same time, and readings were coming back to people late, and it just was overwhelming, and I couldn't do it that way anymore. So right now, all the readings I have available in my shop are going to be on sale, kind of like a clearance, and as soon as they're all sold out, I'm going to be done with that. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. It's going to be really affordable, and they've been going really great, other than like sometimes they've been coming a little late, but that's why I'm trying to fix this right now and make a limited amount available so that they're not late. People aren't waiting forever. Cool. Okay, so a little brightness, right? We got humor, we got leadership, and we have rest. So super important in this post eclipse world. Some of us are rebounding a little faster than others. After this shakeup of the eclipse, this intense summer energy, it's time to rest a little bit. I personally have been like a little bit more of a homebody, taking a step back from socializing, right? Doing Sober September, which has been super challenging, even though it's only like 4 days in. I started 2 days into August, so it's been like 4 days in, but it's been really good, right? So Aries, what I said before about self-care, taking a step back, being contemplative, right? Meditating, reflecting, taking a step back from the day-to-day world and just having a little time off. Take a vacation if you can, right? Do a staycation if you can, right? Because we're finding how to take care of yourself and how to lead yourself forward. The Lion is ultimately about self-leadership, right? It's about really embodying what it is that you want to see in the world, right? In a really cliche way, be the change you want to see in the world. Be a living example of who you want to be, right? Look to people who inspire you to find a way forward if you're having trouble, like really getting in touch with yourself and your leadership qualities, right? And then humor. You know, even though there's some potential for escapism earlier on, it is important to kind of try to find a place of lightheartedness. If you're in a bad mood, put on a stupid sitcom that's going to make you giggle a little bit, right? If you're into it, like smoke a little weed and just relax and just laugh, you know what I mean? Like, it's important to just be light, right? Because a leader, remember, like a leader who doesn't have this becomes a little overly rigid, right? Becomes like the Emperor in reverse, becomes scowly and angry and, you know, just wanting to dominate people and not really connecting to people, right? So laugh and have fun. Make space for this. This is super important, right? We don't always take for granted sometimes like the importance of rest and fun. But this is, again, lighthearted fun. I don't feel like, you know, necessarily going out and partying is what you need to be doing per se. Spend time with people you love and care about and you know, connect with people, right? All right, Aries, so I think this was a great reading. Not what I expected, but hopefully it was everything you needed to hear right now. And I'm so happy to be back here and looking forward to making a lot more videos and, you know, looking forward to what September has in store. I think it's going to be really great. I think we're right now, after this crazy summer and eclipse season and all these retrogrades, really the last half of the year, the last quarter of the year is really going to be about taking all that stuff and like building so that when we go into 2019, we're feeling different, we're feeling refreshed, we feel like the wheel has turned in our favor, yeah? All right, guys, you have an amazing September. I will talk to you soon, and I wish you all the best, all right? You take care. Bye-bye.